Hey everybody, this is Coach Matt Ellis over at Primal Athlete Training Center here in Cranston, Rhode Island. You can check us out online at www.primalatc.com. You know, a few weeks ago I had a great opportunity to sit down with about 17 other small business owners just like me that work with athletes, that work in the field of strength training, conditioning, helping clients to get to their athletic potential, helping clients to meet their goals. And I ended up talking a lot with a guy by the name of Kenny Freeman. Now, Kenny is the owner and sort of the site administrator for UnstoppableStrength.com. And among other things that Kenny and I have in common, we both love training athletes, we both love playing golf, and we love to talk about strength training. Now, one of the questions that Kenny and I had been emailing back and forth about has to deal with producing power and producing torque through the core, through the transverse plane for golfers and for throwers. Now, being a former thrower in high school and college, and right now training athletes who are only track and field and who only do the throwing events, having sold track and field equipment, being a strength coach, that's something that I really specialize in. And Kenny is 100% correct. To be a good thrower, you really have to be able to produce an extreme amount of rotational torque throughout your body and throughout your hips. Not only do you have to be able to produce a ton of torque and be real strong through the hips and the core and the lower back and your butt, you have to be flexible as well. Now, if you guys can think back, what we're talking about, if you ever played with G.I. Joe action figures growing up, I'm about 31 years old, so we're talking back in the mid to early 80s. G.I. Joe action figures were a plastic piece on top, which was the upper body, and plastic piece on the bottom, which was the lower body. And what connected them was a small little black rubber band in the middle. And you could take the G.I. Joe action figures and you could twist them around 4 or 5 times if you wanted to. That's what we talk about when we talk about flexible through the core. We want to actually separate your upper body and your lower body. So golfers and throwers are really good at this. They can actually keep their feet and hips forward, and they can turn their shoulders and upper body sideways. So they're able to stretch the core. So it's not just that your midsection is nice and strong. Your midsection also has to be super flexible to create that whipping motion, to create that drag that allows the upper body to follow through with a lot of rotational torque and with a lot of power. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite movements that you can do at home that are specific to helping you improve your strength and your flexibility in these areas. The first thing we're going to do, one of my favorite movements, is called the seesaw press. Now, you can do a seesaw press with kettlebells or with dumbbells. For the purpose of this video, because they're standing right behind me, I'm going to grab 2 kettlebells and show you how it's done. So the way that you're going to start, you're going to grab 2 kettlebells, 1 in each hand in the racked position. Now what we're going to do is we're going to press the kettlebell on one side, and we're going to turn and look to that side. I like to pick a point behind me, so if I look behind me right now, there's a hex bar, a trap bar. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to look. My feet are a little bit more narrow than shoulder width, and as you press on one side, you're going to turn and look at that hex bar. Now the reason why they call it a seesaw press is because as you come down with the kettlebell on one side, you press and turn to the other side. So they meet in the middle and press. 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 And you're going to continue press. Now these weights aren't too heavy. It's about 35 pounds in each hand. And there's a reason for that. Because as a thrower or as a golfer, you're not moving a super heavy weight one time slowly. You're moving a lightweight or a medium weight implement as fast as you possibly can multiple times throughout the day. So if you're a thrower and you're in trials and finals, plus your warm-ups, and if you do multiple events, you're taking anywhere from 18 to 35, 45 throws during a track meet. If you're a golfer and you play 18 holes, if you're like me, you're shooting like a 90. So you're taking like 90 swings to finish out that round. But you're moving a lighter weight as fast as possible. So that's why these weights aren't going to be that heavy, but we're going to focus on moving them as quickly as possible. Now, the next movement that I like is called a side snatch. Now, if you've ever done a kettlebell snatch, you know that a kettlebell snatch, you take the kettlebell between the legs, load the hips, and you're going to explode and finish with the kettlebell overhead. Then you come back down. A side snatch, we're going to start from the inside of one leg and snatch overhead to the opposite side. It looks like this. We're going to switch. Again, we're not working on moving a heavy weight slowly. We're working on moving, this is only about 44 pounds, about 20 kilos, as fast as possible. Moving it by increasing the strength in our core and increasing the flexibility. Now, the third movement that I like to do is a variation of a movement I learned from a world-class hammer thrower, Koji Murafushi. And the way that he does it, he'll actually take weight plates and attach a hammer wire and a hammer handle and get into a decline bench. The way we do it, I like to put my feet and my hips right on a flat bench. I'm going to take a really thick rope. We're going to start on the ground on one side, put our feet up, keeping our elbows tight to the body. We're going to use our core. We're going to drop it on each side. Once we get the rhythm, we're not going to let it hit the ground behind us. Now what this is doing, it's forcing our feet to stay on the bench, and it's forcing our upper body to twist. As long as we keep the elbows by the ribs, we can turn properly, increasing the flexibility through the hips and the midsection while increasing strength. And that's going to carry over to the golf course, that's going to carry over in the shot put circle, and it's going to carry over in just normal everyday life. Picking up groceries off the floor, picking your kids up off the ground, lifting heavy boxes off the ground. We hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you're watching this on unstoppablestrength.com, good for you. You found an awesome website to go to. Kenny's always dropping helpful tips and helpful info every single day. If you didn't find this on unstoppablestrength.com, go visit it right now. This is Coach Matt Ellis, Primal Athlete Training Center. Check us out online, primalatc.com, or search us out on Facebook for more tips like this. We hope to see you guys there, and make sure you check out my boy Kenny Freeman on unstoppablestrength.com. See you guys later.